welcome to All Things Financial Room, live on Clubhouse, live on YouTube, and live in our Create Financial Solution Facebook group. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're catching this video, and wherever you are in the world. So, good afternoon, good evening. So, we're getting ready to go live on, I think we're live on YouTube. um, Guys, we're going to make sure we check the sound over on YouTube. So we're going to check the sound over on YouTube, and then we're going to get going. And today's topic, we're going to be talking about rules. We're going to be talking about rules, how you set them, why you set them, the good thing about rules, the bad thing about rules. We're going to talk all about rules today. All right. I'm going to show you how to set up the rules, set up a rule, what is the function and what it does. Now, remember last week, our last video, we talked about one of the new features in QuickBooks Online, because we know that QuickBooks Online gives us new feature update every September. So this was done 2022 September, and this is for the year 2023. So they roll out a new, what do we call it? They roll out the updates, new features, update features, new and improved stuff. They roll them out in September of the previous year for the next year. So they roll these out. So for those who don't know who I am, I'm Elaine Forbes Stacey. I'm an accountant, author, speaker, business development strategist, and I'm a certified QuickBooks Pro advisor. So I know a little thing or two. I've been doing accounting for over 3 decades, and I've been using QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks, let's say it right, QuickBooks for over 2.5 decades, and for QuickBooks Online, probably about 10 years, 12 years, something like that. So let me go ahead now. As we always say, when we're doing these live demonstration, we're doing this inside of the sample company. So just that you know that this is the live demonstration is done inside of a sample company. Now be aware that not all features are available in the sample company. So some of the bank rules that I'm going to be showing you, I'm probably going to be talking through it and show you as much as we can. But in order for you to see the real effect of bank rule, in order for you to see the real effect of bank rule, you really have to have a live company. So if you want to see what it looks like in your company, you can schedule a free complimentary, let's say it right, complimentary session with me. I'll show you how to set it up in your company and let you so that you can experience it for yourself and see how much time you can save by actually having the rules set up in QuickBooks Online. All right, so let's make sure our screen or share. Oh, no, window. Oh, entire screen. There we go. There we go. And for those who are over on for those who are over on Clubhouse, if you have a question, feel free to put it in the chat or raise your hand, come to the stage. For those who are on YouTube, please comment below, or on Facebook, comment below, put your comment in. If you have a question about rules, if you have a question, any question about QuickBooks Online, feel free to drop them in. I'll be more than happy to answer it. If there is something that you want specific that you want to see, oh, let me stop sharing for a minute and test the sound. I'm going to test the sound, guys, because we would hate to do this old video without sound. Because y'all know we make that kind of mistake sometime. So we have to have our sound check. And I put on my headphone for the sound check. Hi, Cinderlou. We're just double checking the YouTube channel to make sure that the sound is on because off lately I seem to mess with the sound. So we're getting ready, just testing the sound. I can't find the video. Isn't it amazing? Where is my video? So today I'm gonna show. I'm gonna show. It looks like it's not here. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't find the videos on YouTube. Okay. Now I finally find it. Okay, let's see. No. Save. Okay. I don't know if the sound is working over on YouTube.
I can hear it on YouTube. You're good. Go ahead.
On YouTube, I'm good?
Yes, you're good on YouTube. Go for it.
Okay. Thank you, Cinderlou. Thank you so much. Eh, okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again over on YouTube. So if you're joining us and you want to see the live demonstration, you can jump over. The link is at the top of the room. Just jump over into the YouTube channel and you'll see I'm actually inside of QuickBooks Online. So let's go again. I did say this before, but we're going to show you how to use rules to save time in QuickBooks Online. And a lot of time some of our most of our transaction, especially because we are using digital, a lot of digital stuff, a lot of our subscription or some of our expenses, we get them in email, and also they're the same amount coming in every time of the month. Stuff like Canva, you pay for Canva every month and it's the same amount, the same expense. So, what is a good thing to do is to set up a rule. So, I'm going to show you where to set up a rule. Now, remember, we are inside of the sample company, and the sample company, some of the features are not live, and one of those features is the bank, the bank feed itself. So you'd not be able to see the real effect if it was in the bank feed. I'm going to do my best to show you what it looks like and how it would affect your books. So on the left navigation bar, there is the word banking. We have the banking. So we click on banking. It opens up to the screen. So we're going to be working in the checking account. You can set rules both for your checking account and also for your savings account and your credit cards. Now, a sidebar, if you have a certain store card, like Home Depot, and there's some of them, they will also, you'll also be able to connect them to QuickBooks and download the transaction. That's it. So you can set the rules for that. So on the banking tab, we have banking right here, apps. So today we're going to talk about rules. And one of the things, the good thing about rules is once you set it, you can leave it and it will populate every month. Here's the bad thing about rules. So there's good and there's bad. As we know, there's good and bad, or some things that are challenging when it comes to rule. The rule is based on you, what is in your bank feed. What is in your bank feed. So we're going to go to the rules. It depends on how your bank categorize certain things. and new rule. Now the rule asks you to call the rule. So we're going to call this one Canva. I just give it the name of the vendor. You can use your own naming convention to do the rules. So you can use your own naming convention when you're doing the rules. Now apply the transaction to money out. So this is money that you're going to pay out. So it asks you if it's money in or money out. So this we're talking about money that's going out, and you can limit the rule to just your checking account or your savings account or just your credit card. We're going to say all bank account because sometimes we use our cards to pay some transactions. So we're going to keep it to all bank account. And then once we have it to all bank account, sorry, give me a minute. Yeah, so we have it to all bank account. Okay, there we go. Now, this description, you can put a description. Now, the description that you put in must match must match what is in the bank description. So here it says description. You can put contain, does not contain, is exactly. So either of these you can put inside of the description. So I'm going to duplicate this tab so we can go back to the bank feed so I can actually show you. This is a cool feature inside of QuickBooks. You can duplicate a tab. If duplicate the tab and just go straight to to another tab and continue so that you don't lose the information you're working with in that tab. So we're going to go this one and we're going to go to the banking feed so I can show you. So the description that they're talking about is in this section, right? This section that says description. So we're going to click on this one and details. Sometime, I'm not sure what's happening. Oh Lord, it says one of my streams having problem. I don't know. It says everything looks okay, but let's keep going. So this description, this it says book by Betsy. Now, if you put this in book by Betsy, we're gonna copy that because Elaine liked to do that. And we said contain, or you can put exactly match. This is where you enter the text. You can either put book by Betsy, and you can add a condition. So let's say that you wanted first to look for a book by Betsy, and then you want a specific number description is exactly, and you can put a number. So you can add condition to the rule. And then now, once you set the rule there, you're going to tell it what transaction, what expense you want, the transaction type. So we say this is an expense, the category, and we're going to say this is account bookkeepers. So we're going to say that. And then you can also put the vendor name in if you need to add tag. You can now set the rule to automatically, to just go automatically. So every time QuickBooks sees an entry that says book by Betsy, it automatically sends it to legal and professional. And if there is, we call that Canva or Canva. Let's see if we have a Canva account in here. Canva. So we're going to add Canva and we're going to save, and we're going to call this other expense. Let's look for the expense category. Computer. Let's look for, supposed to be one here for office expense. Let's go all the way here. OFF, office expense. So now you have that all set up. Now, when we test the rule, if there was a Canva expense in here, it would automatically populate and go to the Canva expense. There's two ways. You can turn off the auto add. If you turn off the auto add, what will happen is that when the transaction comes in, it's going to automatically code it to this expense. Now you will have to go in and automatically accept it. If you turn on auto add, which we're going to do for this one, and then I'm going to do another one with a transaction that's sitting inside of this QuickBooks Online. So we're going to save. So now we have the rule. It shows that it's auto add, and we're going to go to here. And so that's one way you can actually go in, do new, and sketch and create a rule. The other way, which I'm going to show you, is that you can actually create the rule from the transaction. Now, the thing about the bank details, which I was saying before, sometimes the bank changes how they detail things. So you want to pay attention to that. So if you set up a rule and the rule is not triggering, then it means that something changed on the description or the bank detail. So we can do create a rule from right here, and we're going to call this book by BESSI. Let's see. And it's money out. And this, because we're doing it straight from the checking account, it's going to say checking. If you want all the accounts, you can just check all the accounts. But we're just going to do this from the checking account. And this is a deposit. So you can do it for expense and you can do it for deposit. This is where you can tell it where to go. All right, let's see. Let's call it income for right now. And we can test the rule. So if we do test, and it tells you this rule apply to one current unreviewed transaction. So when you test the rule, it actually shows you if we hit save. Now, that book by Betsy is no longer here because it is now categorized it and put it where we ask it to go, right? And every time an entry comes in by book by Betsy, that entry just goes right to the category that you sent it to. Now, I went over this, but I want to also go over it again. Prior to September, the entry would have automatically gone to the uncategorized income. What is happening after September, after Intuit did their update? Now, what will happen when a transaction comes in? It checks to see if there is a match inside of QuickBooks. That's one of the downfall of the rule prior to last September, where if you have a transaction set up for recurring to automatically go to your QuickBooks from the bank feed, you set a rule. What used to happen is that if you enter that transaction, let's say that we went in, so we have a rental right here, and we did enter the transaction into QuickBooks, and there was a rule, the rule would apply before the match. With the update, what it does, it actually, the first thing it does now is it looks for a match first, and then if there is no match, that's when it actually goes in and apply the rule. This is good because what used to happen is that you used to end up with duplicate transaction. So if you were to create a transaction inside of QuickBooks, and then when a transaction comes in and there's a rule, it applies the rule. So what it does, it puts it again into QuickBooks. So that's one of the challenges we had with setting up rule and actually entering stuff into QuickBooks. Hello, Rashida. Yes. So setting up rules has become much easier. So you can actually set it, like I said, you can just go to the transaction, and right here you can do create a rule, or you can go right in here and do new rule, and it will create a rule. Now you can also edit these rule. You can edit the rules, change stuff on it. If we want to turn off, we can save. So now the rule will still apply. The rule will still apply. It just will not apply unless it, okay, let me do one of these transactions so we can show you. We have a rental. So let's grab a rental, and we're going to create a rule, and we're going to call it rental. And we're going to say a rental. We're going to turn it off. And this is going to be, do we have a rental account in here? We're going to call it automobile. And we're going to add a rental. We're going to add them as a vendor. Save. Now, if you are a company that needs to send 1099, we need to set up the account for 1099. So next week I'll show you how to set up a vendor to track 1099. Next week I'll show you how to set up a vendor to track 1099. And we turn this off. It's the expense automobile. We're going to say any, all the banks, wherever it comes from, we want, and it says a rental. And now we're going to save. Now, you see what happened is that it applies the rule because we did not set it on auto, which means that it would have automatically applied it and put it into QuickBook. Because we did not set it for auto, what it does is that it applies the rule. So that's also one way. If you're one of the person who wants to see the actual transaction, see what's happening before you actually, you know, this is going to save you time as well as so what would happen is that I could just easily check both of these. I already know that these are correct and everything is posted, and then I would do accept. So it's your choice if you want to review the transaction before you actually post them, or if you just want to the transaction to go right to QuickBooks. Now, for some companies, I do both. I do both depending on the type of the company. One of the thing that I do auto is if you are a company that gets your income comes from the government where they directly deposit the money into your account. You're not sending them an invoice. If you're sending an invoice, you do not want to set a rule. If you're sending an invoice, you do not want to set a rule. But if you're not sending out an invoice and this money is directly deposited into your account, and it's just one, it's the same thing every month, every week, what you want to do is that you set up a rule, and that way the money will auto apply, auto goes to the, now you got to make sure that you're setting up the rule, and also pay attention if you want that's the when you set the rule, you want to also set it so that the um the money goes to a service, then this is something that you have to set up beforehand. All right. So that is it. A couple of rules. So here you can do right from here, new, you can export these rules, you can import them. And QuickBooks use Excel. So if they export it, you can export it to Excel and set up the rule, export, set up your rule, and then you can import the rule. If the rule does not apply, you can go right here, check it, and if you check, you can disable the rule, you can delete it, you can turn off the auto add, you can do it from right there, or you can just hit edit and you can do it right in here. So I hope that was helpful. That's and it's the same process if you create this from start, or if you go to the bank feed and let me see, they have nothing in here, everything okay, and click on here and create a rule from here. You create the rule from here. It's the same process. The same screen pops up, give you all the same thing. You can auto add, you can assign more, you can split the same screen. What's important, you got to name the rule. You got to name the rule. So that is it for today. We went over how to set up a rule. I was hoping, I always want a lot of transactions so we can do more. I can make a mistake and show you how to fix it. But we do this on the sample company, and the sample company feature that's not live. The bank feed is not live. So it's not a lot we can do with it because our information is sensitive. We cannot use a live company and transaction we have inside of the feed. If you have any question, if you're having problem with setting up a rule, or you set a rule and you don't understand and remember what I said, you watch the video, you still said, you know what, I'm not getting it. You want to sit in your company, please feel free to click the link below. There's a link below. You can schedule a 15-minute complimentary session and we can go over the rules for your company. Just remember that each company is different. It's not a one size fit all. And you want to make sure whatever rules, whatever I share with you and you apply to your company, please remember to speak with your professional. I am not your professional. Speak with your professional to make sure that when you apply whatever we share, whatever information we give you, to make sure that you're using QuickBooks, make sure you speak with your professional and make sure that it is going to benefit your business. If there is no question, like as always, we are here every Tuesday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh my God, what time is it for you, Cinderlou? 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am where I am, it is 7 p.m. We're an hour ahead. But with that said, y'all know I love the islands. Still enjoying the beautiful scenery and sunshine. Um, so thank you all for coming. Be back here next week, Tuesday at, let me write it down because y'all know I'll forget. I got to find me a pen so I can write down. So next week, I completely forget what I said I was going to go over next week. Oh my goodness. We were doing rules. Oh my gosh. I'll have to listen to the video to remember what I said we were going to do next week. Can you imagine? I don't remember what I said we were going to do next week. But if you also have something in QuickBooks that you would like to see, something that we can do, we can show in the sample company, just remember that we value your privacy. So if it's something that is of a private nature, that's it. Yeah, we don't want you to if well let me share this. If you ask me a question and it is of that nature, I will not do it live. So don't be afraid to ask a question. Don't mean that if you don't want something to be done live means that you can't ask the question and you won't get an answer, because almost always I can give you an answer unless it's something that is an error and we need to fix it. So I'm going to get on out of here because it is 30. I said I'll be here for 30 minutes. And if you all have no question, and I will go back and listen to the video to remember what topic I'm going to speak on next week, because I have some other topics right now, but I think we need to do that one next week. You are welcome. You are welcome. Always welcome. Please remember, if you catch this video, to like, subscribe, and share the video. And come back again next week. Come back again next week. Turn on your notifications so that you can get notified when we go live. Have a great evening, everyone, over in the Facebook group and on YouTube. We will be back next week with another live online QuickBooks online live demo. Thank you. Not for profit. Okay. Oh, it's funny that you asked for non for profit because it is very interesting. Look who decides to join me over. Yes, I will write it down and I'll definitely be talking about non for profit. That's an awesome topic. Hey, Carlita over here on, so I'll put a note down for non for profit and we'll talk about it another time. All right. So bye over here on YouTube, on in the Facebook group.